Happy New Year, everyone. 2017 is over, so it's finally time for year-end list. This was a really good year for music and a really good year for EPs. Usually in a year, I maybe only get 6-7 EPs that I think are really good, but this year I was able to compile a list of 15 that I really enjoy and came back to throughout the year. There's no honorable mentions, so let's just jump right into the list. At number 15, I have The Mountain Has Fallen by DJ Shadow. There's 2 good instrumental tracks on here and a track with a great Nas verse, but really you should listen to this album just for the sole purpose of hearing Horror Show with Danny Brown, which is an amazing song. At 14, I have Vicious by Skepta. This is just a set of really solid grind bangers. At 13, I have The Painters by Animal Collective. If you're like me and you were a fan of the direction they went in on Painting With, then you should enjoy these songs too. At 12, I have 5 Stories by Damone Tyrell. This is a cool conceptual hip-hop EP. And at 11, I have Her Too by Sir with some really smooth, catchy R&B. At number 10, I have 13 by Denzel Curry. Denzel Curry is one of my favorite rappers out today. He always brings amazing flows, amazing energy. His breath control is one of the best in hip-hop today. And this is just a set of 5 really fiery songs. I wasn't a huge fan of Heartless, but the other 4 songs on here are really good. At 9, I have Duster's Lament by Yucky Duster. This is a really great indie rock EP with a great sense of humor and a lot of personality. At number 8, I have Young Martha by Young Thug and Carnage. I wasn't a fan of Beautiful Thug Girls, but this is what I want to hear from Young Thug. Some really kooky, eccentric, well-produced trap songs. At 7, I have Accelerator by Paul White and Danny Brown. There's only 2 songs on this, but they're both great tracks. These guys still have the same amazing producer-rapper chemistry that they had on Atrocity Exhibition. Number 6, I have Triple Fat Lice by Homeboy Sandman and Aesop Rock. I've liked all 3 of the Lice EPs, but this is probably my favorite. Homeboy and Ace, they kill it every verse. The production on here is really solid. If you're a hip-hop head, there's no way that you won't love this. At 5, I have No Plan by David Bowie. This kind of does just sound like leftovers from Black Star, but Black Star was so amazing that even its leftovers sound great, and also every time I listen to this project, I get to hear Lazarus again, which is one of my favorite songs of this decade. At number 4, I have Death Grips with Steroids, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Gabber. As usual, Death Grips takes advantage of their non-album releases to experiment with new sounds. This time they're incorporating gabber music into their music, and it works really well, and it also makes for some of their craziest music yet. It's a little bit messy, it's not as memorable as some of their other work, and I will say it is one of their weaker releases, but that's just because their discography is so damn good. It's still a great project that I returned to a lot over the course of 2017. Starting off the top 3, I have Harmony of Difference by Kamasi Washington. If you're like me and you loved the amazing jazz music that Kamasi was coming through with on the Epic, then you should love this too. It's the same style of music, except it's much more digestible because the Epic, it was 3 hours long. I love to listen to it when I can get a chance, but that's not very often. But this, it's only 30 minutes. I can throw it on anytime and get that amazing Kamasi Washington sound. At number 2, I have Rina by Rina Sawayama. This is an amazing pop EP. Every song on here is really well written, super catchy. Clarence Clarity produced this whole thing, and what's really cool about it is he's not being as experimental as usual. You might hear that at first and think, well then how is that exciting? I want to hear Clarence Clarity try really unique and creative things, but he's still being creative on here. It's just cool to hear his style mixed with more traditional pop, because it still creates a really unique sound, and it's something different for Clarence at the same time. Rina has a lovely voice. She shows throughout this entire project that she knows how to write great melodies, and I cannot wait to hear more from her in the future. But my number 1 EP of the year had to be Drive It Like It's Stolen by Injury Reserve with Live from the Dentist Office and Floss. These guys already proved that they're one of the most exciting and greatest hip-hop groups around. With this, they keep up their streak of amazing projects while also going in a new direction. This is their darkest and most somber release to date. And it also has a really creative arc. It starts out already pretty eerie, and then it gets progressively darker as it goes on, before kind of picking things up with chin up and saying, you know what, even though life can get you down, even though things can be shit, everything is gonna be okay at the end of the day. This project being sequenced like that makes for a really effective listening experience when you're listening to it front to back, but even when you look at each individual song, they're all great tracks. See You Sweat and Boom Times 3 are awesome, low-key, catchy bangers. North Pole and Colors are these very heartfelt, emotionally impactful songs. Richie and Groggs wrote some of their best verses to date. Parker killed it on the production. There's nothing more I could ask for from a hip-hop project. So those were my 15 favorite EPs from 2017. Make sure to give some of them a listen if you haven't already. Over the next week or so, I'm also going to put out a top 75 songs, a top 50 albums, and a top 25 movies, so be sure to check those out. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.